Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOURFRINDS and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, when you talk about the Washington Commanders, you're talking about a franchise with a rich, storied history filled with ups and downs, legendary players, and passionate fans who bleed burgundy and gold. And let's be honest, the last few seasons have been a roller coaster. There's been a lot of excitement, some disappointment, but always that unwavering hope that this team can return to its former glory, that Super Bowl glory that's eluded them for so long. And folks, right now there's a lot happening that could really turn the tide in their favor, and I'm here to break it all down for you step by step. Over the past few weeks, the buzz around the league has been centered on some interesting moves involving the Commanders, especially in terms of trades and roster shuffling. Now you might think, trade talks? Big deal. But in the NFL, a single trade can alter the entire landscape of a division, especially in the NFC East, which is arguably one of the most competitive and unpredictable divisions in the league. The NFC East has always been a battleground, with the Cowboys, Eagles, and Giants all vying for supremacy, but the Commanders have been quietly making moves that could threaten that status quo. Right now, the team's front office has been working diligently to upgrade their roster, focusing on both their defense and offense, which have been inconsistent at times. They're looking to build a team that can not only compete but dominate. And the recent trade rumors, the ones that have been swirling around, suggest that the Commanders aren't just sitting back and waiting for things to happen, they're actively trying to shape their future. There's talk of acquiring key players, some of whom are proven veterans with playoff experience, and others are young talents with immense potential. This is a strategic move. Washington's management understands that to break through the division and make a real playoff run, they need to be aggressive, especially in a league where the margins of victory are razor-thin. Every draft pick, every trade, every signing can be the difference between a postseason appearance and another year of what could have been. And speaking of the draft, the Commanders are heavily invested in this upcoming NFL draft, with many analysts predicting that they will target key positions like cornerback, linebacker, and offensive line. These are the areas that have historically been their weak points, and strengthening them could be the missing piece that turns a good team into a great one. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on last season. The Commanders finished with a respectable record, but they fell short of expectations, especially considering the talent they have on their roster. The offense showed flashes of brilliance, led by their young quarterback who's been developing rapidly, but consistency was an issue. The defense, which had moments of brilliance, also struggled against the run and sometimes gave up too many big plays. These are the areas they are clearly targeting to improve, and the recent moves suggest that they're serious about fixing those issues. And I have to mention the coaching staff. Head coach Ron Rivera has been under a lot of pressure lately, especially given the team's recent performances. But he remains committed to building a culture of resilience and discipline. Under his leadership, the team has shown flashes of strong defensive play, and with the right additions, they could finally find that consistency that's been missing. Rivera's experience and strategic mindset are crucial, especially as they prepare for this crucial offseason where every move could define their trajectory for the next few years. But let's not forget the players. The core of this team is talented and motivated. Their star receiver, who's been a highlight reel all season long, is hungry for more success. The offensive line, which has been a work in progress, is looking to improve to give their quarterback more time and protect their star weapons. Defensively, there's a lot of talent, with young linebackers and a secondary that, with a couple of key additions, could become one of the league's toughest units. These players are itching to prove themselves, and with the right support and leadership, they could be the backbone of a playoff-caliber team. Now let's talk about what's coming next. The NFL offseason is a time of anticipation, rumors, and strategic planning. For the Commanders, this offseason is pivotal. It's about making smart trades, signing the right free agents, and drafting players who can step in and contribute immediately. The front office has been very active behind the scenes, working the phones, exploring options, and trying to find that perfect mix of veteran leadership and young talent. The goal is clear. Build a team that can challenge the giants of the NFC East and finally bring a Super Bowl back to Washington after decades of waiting. And speaking of the division, the NFC East is evolving right before our eyes. The Eagles, who surprised everyone last year with their aggressive moves and disciplined play, are still considered favorites by many analysts. The Cowboys, always a threat, have been quietly revamping their roster, especially on defense. The Giants, under new leadership, are looking to make a leap forward, and if the Commanders make the right moves, this division could become even more competitive than ever. It's an exciting time for fans of all these teams, and especially for us, Commanders fans, who are eager to see how this puzzle comes together. Looking at the bigger picture, the NFL is a league where every detail counts. It's about coaching, player development, strategic trades, and sometimes a bit of luck. The Commanders have all the pieces to make a serious run, but execution is key. Their fans have been waiting patiently for that breakthrough season, and it feels like this offseason could be the one that finally puts them back into the postseason conversation consistently. The organization's focus on building a strong, versatile roster indicates they're serious about competing at the highest level, not just for 1 year but for many seasons to come. As we await the draft and the free agency period, the buzz in Washington is palpable. Fans are talking about the potential signings, the draft prospects, and how this team could look in just a few months. There's an unmistakable sense of optimism even after some tough seasons. The passion in the stands, the hope in the hearts of every fan, and the relentless drive of the team's management all point toward a brighter future. And honestly, if there's one thing we know about the Commanders, it's that they never stay down for long. They always find a way to rise, to fight, and to come back stronger. Now I want to go back to some specific players because that's what really gets fans energized. The quarterback, who's been developing beautifully, has all the tools to be a franchise guy. His arm strength, decision-making, and leadership qualities are impressive, but he needs more weapons and better protection. The offensive line is a priority area, and with recent rumors suggesting some key acquisitions, it's exciting to imagine how much better they could be. The wide receivers, led by a young star, are hungry to showcase their skills on a bigger stage. If the team can give him time and space, he could explode in ways that elevate the entire offense. On the defensive side, the Commanders have some promising young talent in the linebacker core and secondary. Adding a veteran presence or two in free agency could push this unit from decent to dominant. Their defensive line, which has been a strength at times, also needs reinforcements to consistently get pressure on opposing quarterbacks. The team's defensive coordinator has shown he can scheme effectively, but more talent on the field means more disruption for opponents. This defense could become a nightmare for offenses in the NFC if they hit the right notes during the offseason. And speaking of history, it's worth noting that Washington has a legacy of winning. They have Super Bowl titles, legendary players, and moments etched into NFL history. The challenge now is to recapture that magic, to restore the team's stature as a perennial contender. The recent moves and rumors suggest they're serious about doing just that. They're not just rebuilding, they're retooling with purpose, aiming to create a team that can contend for championships again. Fans, the excitement is real. The NFL offseason is always unpredictable, but one thing is certain. The Commanders are making moves, and those moves could very well shape the future of the NFC East and the league as a whole. It's a time of hope, of strategic planning, and of anticipation. The team's front office knows what they're doing, and the players are motivated to be part of this new chapter. The energy around Washington is contagious, and it's clear that everyone is eager to see what comes next. So as we watch this story unfold, remember that the Commanders are not just a team trying to rebuild. They're a team with a vision, a plan, and the desire to bring glory back to DC. It's a journey filled with challenges, yes, but also immense potential. The NFL is a league of surprises, and the Commanders could be the next team to shock everyone with a breakthrough season. The key now is patience, smart decisions, and a little bit of that Washington grit and resilience that has defined this franchise for decades. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on all these moves, rumors, and the direction the team is heading? Are you optimistic about this offseason? Do you believe that this could finally be their year to make a deep playoff run? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the team's future. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, more analysis, and all the latest Washington Commanders news. So stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep this conversation going. Because at the end of the day, we're all part of this family, cheering for the burgundy and gold, dreaming of that Super Bowl victory that's just around the corner.